Rush Duel may be available in Duel Links, but let's not let this distract us from the fact that Duel Masters is still a game that exists and can still be played very, very easily, and is very, very enjoyable. Something doesn't look right here. Whatever. Ohayuki, everybody. It is I, your dealer, Yukichi Reikyu, hopefully not blowing out your ears. And we are back after a long, long time with some Duel Masters plays. We took a bit of a reprieve, I guess you could say, from this game because we had, you know, Rush Duel released in Duel Links. We had to grind to get to King of Games. What else happened? We had the sponsorship and just a whole lot of life happening, and life is still happening, and sometimes that's not exactly the greatest thing, but hey, we can always count on card games to give us a little break from all of the headache. I say, even though I haven't been hey there Blue, how are you doing tonight? I haven't played too much of the thank you for that. I haven't played too much of the most recent format in this game. I sure hope that before we really get started, I just have to like get on. Oh, hold on. The chat doesn't look right. I didn't fix that, did I? I had my chat like awkwardly placed because of the whole raid thing. I forgot to fix that. Hold on a sec. Where is that? It's here, right? There we go. You didn't see anything. I've been tempting a friend who knew about Duel by showing him stuff like the Hall of Fame. In exchange, I may have to learn Mahjong. Hey, Mahjong is pretty fun. It's been a while since I played Mahjong on stream, too. I did play Mahjong a little bit recently on... Kankuro was learning Mahjong, and I jumped in for a game on that stream. But it has been a while since we've done Mahjong. Unfortunately, today's not Mahjong Monday. I probably should have... There we go. Mahjong is an evil game without benefit. I mean, it has the potential to be. Also, I always have to wonder about audio, because... Oh, maybe my volume was just up way too high, because the game sounded super loud, which is weird, because I have it turned down pretty low. But at any rate, since the last time we played Duel Masters Plays, a new set released. We moved on from... Shoot, what was even in the last block? We were still on... What? It wasn't Zenith. Zenith were like at the beginning of the block, but we were still in that era. But now we started on the Dragon Saga. We have the Drag Hearts around. I haven't played too much with... Oh, Outrage, that's right, thank you. Yeah, I haven't played too much with the Drag Hearts and stuff. I've done a little bit that was needed for some of the missions for the arc points and stuff, and some of those missions also gave some free... I think you get one copy of each of the main Drag Hearts for completing the missions, because they did like this whole thing where they gave them away based on how many likes they got on Twitter, which whenever games do things like that, it always seems to me like excuse me, it always seems to me like there's no like actual, how do I say this, the actual campaign itself to get likes and whatnot never actually matters because they plan on giving the things to everybody anyway, right? I mean, I guess with these collabs, it's a little bit different because we had this as well with the HoloLive collab a few months ago, and it's the same with this Nijisanji collab, where they have the VTubers that are in the collab play games against each other, and then whoever wins everyone gets a free promo card based on that that player, and I assume we just don't get the other promo. I think they're planned around how many numbers they know they can hit. Yeah, exactly. So it's like they planned on giving everybody all of the promos anyway, or rather all of the drag hearts anyway, especially considering, you know, there are 5 of them, 1 for each civilization. They know that they want excuse me, they know they want everyone to have at least 1 copy of all of them, so they're going to give everyone the free copies anyway. Only sometimes you see total newbie companies make a goal that's too high for their reach. Yeah, I suppose so. It was the same thing with Duel Links when the 7th World came out, where they were like, oh, if all players achieve X number of summons, you get this reward in the game. And obviously we were going to hit the milestone, but I don't know, it felt like it did actually kind of slow down towards the end. Also, just lifting up my chair a little bit there, trying not to die from this coughing fit. It's weird. I'll feel fine for the entire day, and then just out of nowhere, the instant that OBS is open, the instant that the stream button is clicked, all of a sudden it all starts coming out, and it's like, well, I've already made the commitment, I'm not going to stop now. But now it's just, well, shit, now now what do I do about this? And I think I've mentioned this before, or maybe I started mentioning it and didn't get through the entire thought, which is pretty common, hence the stream tags, but it's very hard to like reach the mute button on my microphone in time for things like that. Like, I can't really feel when it's coming, you know? It's just, it shows up, and that's all there is to it. And I guess we just have to suffer, you and I both. But with all that out of the way, let's actually get started. Also, I'm not sure how much mileage we're going to get out of the stats on this one, because I think we're going to be mainly dueling against NPCs for the time being, because we do have to do the legend battles. I've left that all to the side to do for stream. I could have done it off stream, but you know, what would we be doing otherwise? It would just all be your average grinding the ladder and whatnot, and that's you know, we do a lot of ladder grinding. In fact, we did what, 4 whole streams of it for Duel Links to get to King of Games. Alright, there was the Quintuplets collaboration. I don't remember if we did a stream for that. Did we? I don't know. But I guess that's also something that happened since the last time we played Duel Masters. Whether we streamed it or not. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, like, it's just, I need to do the climb again, also, because, obviously, at the end of the month, a new season starts, so I'm back down to gold in Duel Links, and I need to get back to King of Games again to prove, that it wasn't a one-time fluke for the first season, where nobody knew how to play the game. Especially considering the new box doesn't drop until the end of the season anyway. and it's not like I'm going to get to a KOG in 3 days. I mean, I could, I just don't have the time for that. Don't think so? Yeah, I figured not. Because it has been quite a while since we've done Duel Masters plays, because this game does not exist. I mean, it kind of does, but it also doesn't. But anyway, you can see over in the top right corner, we already have all of our well, not all. We'll probably need to buy more gems later on. I actually don't know if I want to play more Rush until the cards drop. I mean, that's fair. You can only deal with drag years for so long. Trust me, it was a lot worse in paper, having to deal with what we're dealing with in Duel Links right now, minus the skills, for 2 whole years. It's a bit of an exaggeration. Like, there were some other decks that popped up, but it was pretty much drag years for the entire time. And to an extent, that's also what it is now, too, because Seven's Wonder Fusion is still, or is a big part of the metagame now. And they gave it, like, in patented Konami fashion, the fakest of fake hits. They gave it a semi-limit to the fusion spell itself, but left both Drag Years and Seven's Road Magician alone, because obviously you can't hit the main character boss monsters. Give me something other than Torna? Yeah, like, I don't know if it'll get any better in the next box. It depends on what's in it. Obviously, because the next character unlock is going to be Roa, the box is going to be at least partially focused on Royal Daemons, which I don't think they provide any generic interaction. Hopefully some of the cards that we get outside of that are a little bit more, give us a little bit more variety at least. But I've said this before I say it on stream, I say it to card game friends I have in the real world. When it's always rough when you're just starting the game, no matter what. The first set is always going to be one of the worst and one of the best times to play the game. Because at that point, it's unproven, right? Like, you might have, tournament results from Japan and everything, because most of these games are originally from Japan and release not simultaneously. So you'll usually have, like, tournament results and whatnot, but, there's no accounting for differences in player mindset and play styles, so things may be different once the game hits the Western shores, and it's fun to have, like, the unproven Wild West style metagame for, like, 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, the format gets solved pretty quickly because, you're only on the first pack of the game. All you have is maybe a couple of starter decks and that one booster box, and it gets stale very quickly, and you're just waiting for the second booster to drop and give some more variety. Shadowverse Evolve is kind of like that right now too in English. The second set came out recently. Haven't been to any tournaments with that yet, but hopefully it's not like just total dragon domination anymore. They actually ended up hitting Shenlong like they did in Japan, so maybe that'll knock it down a peg, although in all of the games that I played in Shadowverse Evolve so far, I think I've seen Shenlong once, and it wasn't a determining factor in the game that I played at all, but, at any rate, and that should put us up to, like, 3 for that. We have a bunch of gems. You can see all the gems up in the corner. Well, before we head to the shop, I need to check the missions, because I forget what the missions are. Win 5 ranked matches in both ND and AD. Duel 50 times, that's easy at least. Play 10 and 20 blockers. That's going to be difficult. I don't play a lot of blockers in my decks. What's it called? I don't remember the translation of this. Ryukai, a Dragon Heart 10 times. I don't have a Drag Heart deck ready, but we can probably do that pretty easily. Quick pick I'll do that off stream sometime. Drafting kind of sucks. Use the, what's his name? Kata, right? Use or play a duel with Kata's sleeves. All division, make a new all division deck. That should be easy enough. We don't have to worry about all of these right now. We're mainly focused on the legend battles, but before the legend battles, we gotta open our packs. I feel like the mixing is very off. Let's go with something like that. There it is. Okay. If I can stop dying for a second. Oh, that was the wrong tab. It's time to open our packs. Roll our gacha. Because, ooh, I'm just hitting things all over the place today. One of the reasons why I don't have, drag hearts to do these missions with is because, as you can see, I haven't opened very many packs of this set. I basically just used whatever free tickets and whatnot that I had, gold, etc. And, collaborations are always the way to go when it comes to opening packs. Because I don't believe that there's actually such a thing as premium luck or anything like that, premium rates. I don't believe in the superstitions of getting better rolls when you're using real money, but, if you're buying into a collab, then you're just naturally going to end up opening more packs anyway, and so you're going to end up just rolling better things, or you have more chances to roll better things, I should say. And there go the engines outside. Have I mentioned how much I hate it here? But yeah, I do have a pretty decent... There we go. Maybe I should make a counter for how many times the coughing fit comes in, and it'll be in the triple digits before the end of the stream. Yeah, I guess I should take a sip, shouldn't I? I actually bought a water bottle the other day, so now I have an actual bottle for my water with like a filter and everything in it, instead of drinking from reused juice containers and getting all microplastic maxed. But at any rate, before we go into the actual collab packs, let's use these tickets that we have. Nothing super exciting here, just a VR. Preparing for the G Fuel collab. God, I wish. But so the deal, as always, collab sets are 1,500 gems for 5 packs. After each one, you get a random promo from the collab. There's Alfarion using Furen. There's this is Spell Cyclica using I forget businessman's name. It's, hold on, what is his name? I know I looked this up recently because I just can't remember what this guy's name is. Yeah, I have no idea. We're just gonna call him the businessman for now, because I just don't remember his name. And then, of course, the... Can I get through a sentence? The star of the show is, of course, Salome-sama with Crossfire Millionaire. As if I don't already have 1 million copies of Crossfire. I think I only have 2, actually, so I wouldn't mind the extra copies. Honestly, I don't mind getting any of the promos, but I do obviously want the Salome a lot more than any of the others. Well, that's not true. I also do want Spell Cyclica. Spell Cyclica actually got nerfed since when it was released in the game, and now it got slapped with the hard once per turn on it. It used to not be that, and they nerfed Soul Swap as well, because the main thing that the deck was doing was you use Spell Cyclica to keep looping Soul Swap, which is... Also, I found this out while looking for something completely unrelated. So Soul Swap is 7 mana in this game. It just got nerfed to 8 mana. Did you know that the original print of Soul Swap in the physical game is only 3 mana? And I feel like I knew that at one point, but it just kind of didn't stick with me because I wasn't actively playing the game and didn't really consider anything. But I found that out again. I was like, oh, well, no wonder Soul Swap is banned for only 3 mana. That's ridiculous. Because I was wondering why it's banned in paper and not banned in Duel Masters plays, and why it's still allowed at 4. And it's because it got severely nerfed when they added it to the game. Like, what were they thinking with 3 mana on Soul Swap? Not at all. But this was the same era. It was the early days of Duel Masters. They also had Astral Reef at the time, so they weren't thinking is the answer. And, of course, alongside every collab comes a rerun of the previous collab with Sanbaka, which I also would like to... Not really so much the promos as much as it is the skins. I do like that they're at a discount. I don't think they did that for the Quintuplets collab, which is really nice, actually. Or maybe that's just the price that it was when they originally did the Nijisanji collab, because that was at the early stage of this game's lifespan. They didn't want to have people spend too much on a game that wasn't proven yet, I suppose. Didn't want to feel too greedy. But after all this, like, dawdling around and whatnot, let's finally actually start opening our packs, claiming our skins, and see what Lady Luck has in store for us today. So our first set of 5 packs, will we get an SR immediately? The answer is yes, we will get an SR immediately. Even better than that, we'll get a, victory rare immediately. So, all that stuff that I said about the premium luck, it was a lie. It really does exist. You're seeing it right now. Buy crystals, and you can get... I don't believe in premium luck. Well, we just know that it's a victory rare, but if it's a skin, if it's a secret rare, that's an entirely different story. There's no guarantee that it's anything more than just... See, I was half expecting it to happen, but no, it's just a normal victory rare. You see, it doesn't exist. I'm going to end up pulling a skin by the time we're done with all this, I can tell. That's just a VR. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, I probably have, but I do kind of feel it's excessive. Oh, well, let's check our promo first. Who do we got? We got Businessman. I don't have any blockers, and then all the light stuff starts coming. Yeah, exactly. It's the desire sensor, you know? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I have mentioned this before. Oh, I forgot that does that. Ooh, that one hurt a little bit. I'm pretty sure I have mentioned this before, but I do feel it's a little bit excessive that they do the special animation for pulling a card, even if it's like an uncommon or something, which I get it. It's to signify, you know, you've got something special. You pull the card that has other cards attached to it, because the drag hearts are they go in the hyperspatial zone, and the main card goes in the main deck. So it's good to call attention to it, but it feels it kind of diminishes the impact of when you pull something actually genuinely rare, when if even the commons and uncommons are giving you the cut-in the first time you pull them. But that's just a very minor gripe that doesn't really mean all that much. And there goes our Salome. Nice. I should probably rethink the keybinds for my expressions, because taking screenshots is always going to trigger my smug expression, because I just have that tied to Control S, and my like screenshot command also has Control S as part of it, but it's also there for common and slash VR skins. Yeah, it's for any rarity. Also, hey there, Luna, how are you doing tonight? Thank you for the resub with the Prime for 10 months. Jeez, has it really been almost a year already? I guess so. That does make sense. Like the Jasmine? Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense if it's a skin, regardless of the rarity, because you're pulling a skin. But for something that doesn't give you a skin, it just feels like it's really excessive. But I don't know, maybe that's just me being too picky about... too picky
チャンネルポイントでチャレンジをもらいました。2分まで日本語しか話せない。
このバトンを
では始めましょう。
1G だけするから大丈夫です。このプールは SR があるから行きましょう。1ない2ない。面白い。このリディームは毎日考えているか。でもこのタイミングは考えがない。日本語をあまり使えませんから、このことは変。でも SR カードが光God damn it 日本語シークレットレア来た。光文明じゃない。作文 No 作文じゃない。何の言葉いえ何でもない。シークレットレアスキンが来たからなぜですか。プレミアムラックがない。それはスケベの意味はない。スケベは変態の意味だ。
お疲れ様でした。
There
こ
we
れ
go.
から英語を戻す。
I feel like the timer's delayed, which is weird because I'm the one who made it, so it shouldn't be delayed. But I wasn't I just don't have words. But I did say we were probably going to end up pulling a secret rare before this was over. And there it is. We got the secret rare. So we got the skin for the Light Civilization Guardian. I don't remember what the name or what the word is for civilization. I guess I'm going to count that as like a kanji thing. I should probably just rename this, but I don't remember what civilization is. Sukebe janai. But hey, she's here. That's not what the goal here was. I mean, I'll take it. A skin is a skin. But the goal here was to get more drag hearts to be able to like move into the future, as it were. I say as if I'm not going to just keep playing hunters. I believe I'm currently done with my avatar commissions. Oh god. That one was just gross. Well, we got through the gross one, and we got through the painful one, so hopefully that should mean the end of the coughing for the night, right? It always happens at night, too. It only happens at night. Daytime, completely fine. Nighttime, it's like something just awakens within me, like I'm a gremlin or something. But yeah. Also, I don't even remember what this card does. But we do have music to go with it, so that's nice. Sympathy, light creatures, evolves from light creatures, double breaker, on attack, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose a cost 6 or lower non-evolution light creature and put it in the battle zone. Afterwards, put the rest on the bottom of your deck in a random order. Mana arms 5. Your other light creature, or when your other light creature is put into the battle zone, tap your opponent's creature with the lowest power. If it's a tie for lowest power, choose one at random. The new light theme is just weenie blockers into this, and that's the one you got. Well, hey, I'll take it. It'll help us complete the mission after all. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're here to do. Maybe not tonight, but at some point. And of course, you know, Alfarion will help things out there. It is so weird to me to think that I got all 3 of the promos back to back like that. All of the other collabs, well, I mean, the Hololive one, it didn't really matter. I was going to buy all of them anyway. The Pop Team Epic one, I didn't have money because I was still a poor student in Japan at the time. But like, this is one where I'm not going to max out on the collab. So I would prefer to get just the cards that I, want the most, which would be the Spell Cyclica and the Crossfire. But I would like to have at least one of all of them. And it's just so shocking. It was the quintuplets one where I didn't want to max out the quintuplets one. I wasn't going to get all of them, but I wanted, you know, the specific cards that I used, which were the Miku promo because I use Cyber N-World, although I don't think I've used it in any of my decks recently, and the Itsuki because it was Ryusei, which I use all the time. And then, you know, just Nino because I like Nino. But you know, I ended up getting just... I kept pulling all of the Yotsuba promos when I didn't want the Yotsuba promos, and that just annoyed me to no end. But here, at least, we've gotten something good going. We've got one of each one off of just the first 3, so we're pretty golden. I don't have to worry about having to potentially roll extra times just to get the one copy of Alfarion that I otherwise don't really want, aside from just wanting to have the promo. Which is exactly why this one, because I only intend to buy LaFour to get Salome, is going to be a second copy of Alfarion instead of Crossfire or Spell Cyclica. It's like I just know. And that is the zero grade luck in action. Oh, have a good night, Luna. Have fun. And yes, I'll get the sip. Kind of unfortunate timing on the gacha going well thing, considering I got the one promo that I didn't want duplicates of. But you know, we'll take what we can get. Now that we have the 4 skin chips, we can redeem that for our Salome. Is that the name of the song? Perfect Reason? Also, oh, what is there? Elena, that's her name. Where is... Do I have to actually change to Salome to get the music? Surely they just play the music in battles, right? If I, like, set Salome as my leader to a specific deck or something. That's what I'm hoping. Oh, right. There was also a Konosuba collaboration. That was the other one. That I didn't plan on doing all of them for. I just wanted mainly the promo for Megumin. The Wiz and Wiz. You can set a few... Oh yeah, that does work with the collab BGMs, doesn't it? We'll do that later. But as you can see, all the members of Sanbaka are here as well from the original Nijisanji collaboration, and those 3 I do actually want all 3 of, which means we're going to have to... Man, I really want the Crossfire, but we can worry about that after we buy the rest of our collab packs. Oh. Well, it doesn't feel as... Or it feels like the coughing is starting to subside. Into hell we dive again. Yeah, kind of. But hey, I knew what I was getting into. It's funny, I think... Oh, that's right. When I first started playing Duel Masters Plays, that was, I think, right after the first Quintuplets collab had ended. There we go. Sometimes the screen cap takes a while. And there goes my voice. And I remember just thinking, oh man, I can't believe I missed Quintuplets. I would have actually liked that. You know, apart from the fact that I, you know, wouldn't have had the money for it anyway. But then they did a second Quintuplets collab for the summer and reran the original. And it all ended up working out in the end. The word you can't use on YouTube. Which one? I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah. The Quintuplets one and the Konosuba one were both ones where it was like, well, I want some of the promos and I would like to have at least one of each, but I also don't want to pull more than is necessary. Speaking of which, are we going to have that happen again here? Where I just end up getting the promos back to back? I wonder if they changed it very subtly to make it so that you just are guaranteed to get at least one of each before you start getting duplicates. It would be nice. It's probably not good for business, which is why, you know, it is the way that it is. But if I was making a mobile game where, you know, collaboration cosmetics were not guaranteed like this, that's what I would do. Just as a, okay, they didn't. That's proof. But that's something I would do, where just make it, well, no, I would probably just make it so you can get the collaboration goods. Like, I don't understand why it's all randomized in this game, but hey, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. And it clearly works, because here I am, feeding into the machine and justifying their actions. Just like everything Konami does. Just, you complain, but you still feed into it. Although I do at least try to limit how much that I do as far as Konami goes. Can we get Lise, please? Because, you know, well, let's not get into the thoughts and feelings about Yu-Gi-Oh! We've been there a million times before, and this is actually kind of the place for it, because, you know, Duel Masters is my escape from Yu-Gi-Oh! Just as it was in 2005, so it is in 2023. I would really like to actually sit down and play a game of Duel Masters in paper again, but I have no idea how I would accomplish that. Aside from moving back to Japan, which, you know, every day I wish. But that's a like distant future kind of thing. It's 4 each, right? So once I get to 12, then well, I do also have to get the playmats and the sleeves. Like, I really wish that collabs in this game didn't work the way that they do, but at the same time, oh hey, Glenmalt. I think I actually pulled the thanks for that. I think I actually pulled the Glenmalt before. Again, obviously, you get one for free from the missions. They give you one of each civilization. But I think I actually did pull a Glenmalt before in some of the packs that I've opened off stream. So that should give us 3 of them, which will make it a little bit easier to achieve the Ryukai mission. Drag Solution, that's what it was. I'm not sure why I couldn't remember that earlier. But, having 3 copies of that will definitely make it a little bit easier to achieve that mission, since now I'll be able to more realistically draw into them and actually have them to use. Because I did try to do a few things here and there, like finishing some of the missions before this last sheet, doing some ranked because the season ends in 2 days, or really a day and a half because of Japan time. And I'm still in gold for this season. I hit Masters twice. There were 2 seasons where I hit Masters. And then last season, because so much of the time was spent on Duel Links playing Rush Duel instead, I think I finished in Platinum last season, instead of, you know, actually grinding up to Masters again. And I think, though, didn't I get double Masters? Does anybody remember? It's probably on my Twitter if I did. Because I do remember getting masters in ND. I didn't see that there. But hey, we got a Metaru Avenger. Metal Avenger. I don't know why I was squinting so hard at that. I guess I do have the game on low, well, not low graphical settings. I have it on mid settings because for whatever reason, this game is weirdly resource intensive. I think the first couple of times that I streamed this back when I first started playing, I had it on the highest settings, which makes sense. You want the game to look good. But man, this game hangs when you play it on the highest setting. Like, it's bizarre. And I know it's not my PC. My PC definitely has good enough specs to run a mobile game from 4 years ago, almost. Because anniversary is coming up soon for this game. When I started playing, it was during the 3rd anniversary celebration, so 4th anniversary is coming up soon. And you know, anniversary in a mobile game always means there's going to be some goodies to grab. Speaking of, the connection's been a bit worse lately. Well, I haven't played in a while, so I don't know if that's the case, really. I definitely have been feeling that in Duel Links, though, because obviously I was playing Duel Links getting DC'd after solo games. Yeesh. That is pretty bad. But, like, I was playing Duel Links in the lead up to the Rush Duel edition because I was trying to accumulate gems just so I would have enough gems to actually do the roles when the Rush box came out. And I didn't have nearly as many problems then as I did after Rush Duel was actually added. Like, it feels like them adding Rush Duel to the game just made the game super unstable. Like, you constantly get disconnected going between menus, you get disconnected just trying to scroll on the home menu. Even now, the game feels a lot laggier since they added Ghost Girl. And I wonder if it's just all the data that Duel Links has, because every character also comes with all of their voice lines. Obviously, even if you don't unlock the character, you have to have that data available because your opponent could be using that character. And I feel like the game is just getting bloated with so much data. Oh, we're ending things off with another SR batch. I feel like the game is just getting bloated with so much data, it can't handle it anymore, and the game is starting to come apart at the seams. Which isn't surprising, considering Duel Links is a 7-year-old video game. Almost, like, yeah, 7 years old, right? It came out in 2016. About to be... No, did it come out... Yeah, it came out very late, 2016. So, yeah, it's a 7-year-old game. I think all of these have been victory rares. I don't think we've actually gotten an SR besides the secret rare, which is, you know, rarer than a victory rare. Although I do think this set has an increased pull rate on victory rares just because there's so many of them in this set. Like, I think we went from, like, 2 in all of the previous sets to, like, what is it? I think there's... Is there 5? Because there's obviously at least 5. There's 1 for each civilization. But is there more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... No, it's just the 5. But, yeah, actually, we only pulled victory rares and that 1 secret rare. That's insane. Premium luck doesn't exist, by the way. It really doesn't. Like, I've played enough, or I've bought into, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I've bought into enough collaborations in like Shadowverse and this game to know that just because you put in the crystals doesn't mean that you actually, you know, get better pull rates. And if it did actually happen that way, I'm pretty sure there would be some stern talking tos from, you know, lawyers and whatnot. After the whole, as it was, or as it is already. Okay, I guess I set Salome as my default skin. We'll fix that later because I still want Miku, but I do love. What? She's still going, huh? I do love Salome. But we do have to get our other cosmetics because for whatever reason those are separate. So get the sleeves for Arrival of Sanbaka. Get the Sanbaka charger sleeves. Do I want the other sleeves? I don't think I want the individual sleeves. And then obviously we need to get the Salome playmat. And do I want the individual playmats? Do I want the Sanbaka playmats? We're going to end up buying more crystals eventually. I actually do like this playmat though. The, what is that, Aqua Teacher? We'll change deck stuff later because we do still have to use the Katakiri Fuda sleeves for our mission. But before we get started on everything else, now that we've got our pulls out of the way, one last thing. We have to, of course, claim our promo card. Oh, I forgot that they have individual promo cards. Oh yeah, and so you can still get the other promos as well. It's just you get one of them for free depending on who won in the, this is kind of awkward actually, because they put the Sanbaka charger. This card is treated as a Bone Odori charger. I don't know that I'm ever going to use Bone Odori charger, but I am definitely going to be using Fairy Life. Unfortunately, I don't have enough enough points to get a full playset of the animated version, but I will get one at the very least. And I don't want to spend God, I said it was fading and now it's coming back. I don't want to spend 8,000 points on an animated Ragnarok, but I also kind of want to spend 8,000 points on an animated Ragnarok. But more importantly, we need to get our set of Fairy Charger, or not Fairy Charger, Fairy Life. Do I want the Bone Dance Charger alt? Do you play a deck that uses it? Because I heavily doubt that I am. But then again, I don't really know what I want to play as far as the drag hearts go. Aside from Glenmalt, I haven't really looked into what they actually do. I don't know if any of them really fit my style of play. Did I get the fourth one yet? Yes, I have 3 regular, 1 premium. And that's also why I don't really want to go super hard on the promos, because, you know, this is a precious resource to use our, to like craft cards that we might need. I don't want to blow them all on promotional versions of cards that I already have. but I will get the one copy of this just to make sure I have one of each. And then, of course, Heaven's Gate. I think I'll grab, at some point, I'll probably grab a full set of Heaven's Gate, but I'll get the 2 for now, just so I definitely have the 2 to use if I decide to play a Heaven's Gate deck. I'll grab the 1 copy of Bon Odori Charger. That should be everything. Oh yeah, I missed that one ranked season where the alt art of Forever Princess was available. I only got the 1 copy of it because I didn't know about the ranked promos at the time. I kind of glossed over that in all my research about the game, but most of the decks that I ended up playing only ran 1 copy of Forever Princess anyway, and then it ended up being cut from the decks, so I don't feel too bad about not having it. If I ever feel the need to, though, it's in the shop now. Yeah, I think we should be good on that. If I decide that I need or want some of the other prize cards, I have until the 22nd to get them. And it's not like we're in much of a rush. Peaceful, thank you for the follow. I apologize for those gross noises that you just heard. There was like mucus filling my throat as I was taking my sip. I'm still so used to the classic English version. Oh, are you also a Duel Masters player from the days of old? It's nice to meet other people who actually have experience with Duel Masters. I miss it so much. It seems like a headache to me. It can be. There are still some things here and there that trip me up because I'm not that good at Japanese. There's a lot of kanji, especially kanji used in this game, that I don't know. On the plus side, I have learned some things from playing the game, so never let people tell you video games can't teach you anything. They teach you foreign languages. My best deck was Mono Dragon. Fire Civilization, I'm assuming. Bullshock Dragon. Man, the good old days. I miss Duel Masters so much. Takara Tomy, you released WeCross in English. Just give us Duel Masters back. Release it yourself. Who cares about what Wizards of the Coast has to say? Wizards of the Coast probably cares what they have to say. Death Phoenix, Soul Phoenix with the different dragons. I think that's beyond the scope of my knowledge. I was also like very young when the game came out in English, but so I mainly remember I've been searching up Duel Masters games here and then, but no results. Yeah, this game is Japan only, so there's probably not a lot of coverage of it in English. In fact, aside from me, I'm pretty sure there's only like 2 other people that make English Duel Masters content. So I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that I could provide something of use, and be sure to stick around. I'll definitely be playing a lot more Duel Masters. We just took a bit of a segue into Rush Duel for a little bit, and we're probably going to do more Rush Duel as well at some point. The new box does come out at the end of the month, but I just love Duel Masters, and Great Tuesday. Oh, is it Tuesday already for you? It's still Monday over here. Then again, I guess that makes sense. Most people in this part of the world probably don't even know Duel Masters exists, let alone would be looking for someone who's streaming it. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person in this category as well. I did check this earlier. Yep, sure enough, I'm the only Duel Master streamer on Twitch. I'm from Singapore. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Singapore loves trading card games. I am from America. I lived in Japan for a year last year, and that's when I originally started playing Duel Masters again, because I don't remember how I even stumbled upon this game. Actually, I think did I find out about this game because of WeCross, or did I find out about the WeCross card because of this game? I don't remember, but I just remember randomly stumbling upon the game one day, and I realized, oh, wait a minute, I live in Japan and I can actually read Japanese now. I can actually play this and, play it reasonably without needing a translation patch, which there is a translation patch available. If you wanted to play it. The mechanism of the game is pretty straightforward and easy, and the animation... Yeah, like, well, I don't know if I'd call it a pretty game. It is a very nice-looking game. I will say that much. And it's definitely... Sorry, I'm still, like, quote-unquote sick. So you'll have to excuse the weird coughing and throat clearing noises and disgusting mucus sounds. But I've mentioned this a few times in my various streams, because unfortunately I am primarily a Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I hate... I just always have something bad to say about Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is weird. I do actually like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just, Yu-Gi-Oh! Makes it very hard to like it. But it's just amazing to me how much better of a game this game is than Master Duel in comparison. Especially considering Master Duel had like 2 years of time after this came out to look at it and say, okay, how can we make this game better than our competition? And then they didn't. I agree. See, everyone, like, I feel like if you play Duel Masters, you probably have some kind of gripe with Yu-Gi-Oh! That's how I felt even as a kid. Like, I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid also, obviously, but when Duel Masters came around, I just thought, wow, this is so much better of a game. Why is nobody playing this? I think Japanese cards have more effects, so I'll need more brain tweaking. Yeah, it gets pretty insane. Some of these cards are a trip to deal with, especially, like I said, when your Japanese isn't that good. In which case, I do recommend using the translation patch, if that is a hurdle. I just don't, because I'm a masochist and I'm lazy and it's good practice. But now that we've gotten... Oh, wait. I still need to change the sleeves on my deck and all that. I don't particularly care about the story of this too much either, so we're just going to skip and do the fights. Because if I tried to even really understand the story, we'd be here all night trying to translate things. This game uses a lot more kanji than you would expect for a game for middle schoolers. Although I guess maybe these are all things that middle schoolers would know. I don't know. I'm not a native speaker. And I'm dying. Are we done? Okay, I think I'm done. Nope. Alright. But now, for sure, we're definitely done with the coughing, and we'll get through the entire rest of the stream with no issues whatsoever, aside from whatever the duels want to throw at us. So, Oh, I guess I could do it from here before I do these fights. And I never changed my BGM, did I? Whatever. We can do that. We can do that some other time. But I do need to change the sleeves to complete this mission. So where are you, Kata? Is it this one? No. It's... Okay, it's this one. Because it's the Chugakusei. And we'll just steamroll through these fights. They're not really all that difficult until we get to the legend fight, and I dread what Furen's legend fight is going to be like, considering what her promo is. But yeah, the game, believe me, as someone who only played Duel Masters very casually as a kid, and barely even really had that many cards, you know, the game was new then, and it was extremely simple. Coming back to that, like, 20 years later, like, I finally kind of understood what it was like to be one of those Yu-Gi-Oh players coming back to the game with Link monsters, and after having not even touched Yu-Gi-Oh in, like, decades, like, I get it now. How old are you? Himitsu. Oh, I didn't get to mention this earlier because I started the stream before I had the music playing earlier, so we didn't get to hear the beginning of this song. But the dubstep wubs in this song, like, why is that there? Like, that, why did they do that? Because I genuinely really enjoy Baba Tanuki. Baba Janai. Yes, we'll take Wedding. Actually, I think I can... This reduces cost by 5, right? So that would reduce Wedding to 6. I can play Wedding next turn. What was I saying? Oh, right. Wait. I'm dumb. I forgot that the card itself costs 3 to use. You can tell it's been a while since I've played. So what? Wait. What's the minimum I need to hit then? Because I play this for 3, and this reduces it to 6. I'm just gonna monocharge Wedding because I need to accumulate the I need to accumulate the mana, but I also need Baki is more important than Wedding here. Okay, we have like a million things going on at once here. I was saying I started the stream with the song already in progress, so the dubstep wubs weren't in it, and then I was saying I understand what it's like now to be one of those Yu-Gi-Oh players coming back to the game after Link monsters were introduced and all that. Like, it really feels like something foreign. I'm reading about the Liquid People deck on Reddit. Oh, that was like the best deck in the game, or one of the best decks in the game when I first started playing a couple months ago. I say a couple of months ago. It's been almost a year at this point. I think I started playing in like January. Liquid People is a very fun aggro deck. And turn it into mono liquid. Yeah, like especially right now, the format in the game is very monocolor focused, because the drag hearts are the big draw of the game right now, which are they get bonus effects for having, what is it? They get bonus effects if you have a certain number of their civilization in your mana zone. So it encourages playing monocolored decks so that you can hit that requirement easily. Too much to catch up. I think it's it is definitely a lot, but you can pick it up pretty quickly, I think. Wait, what? Oh, that was for Aqua Intelligence. I'm like, why did that stop at 1? I forgot that I finished Baki already. But yeah, there's... And I apologize if this is like your first exposure to modern Duel Masters. There is a lot of things happening right now. It's a lot, but going in with fresh eyes isn't so bad. I suppose that's also true, right? Because for me, it was essentially starting the game over from scratch because it had changed so much from when the game was available in America. And, you know, I was in middle school myself when the game came out in America. So I wasn't playing with any kind of capacity for real coherent game plan or anything like that. Now it's like it's essentially a whole new game, and there's a few people like Blue, for instance, who started playing the game around the same time and hadn't had exposure to it before. What were the sleeves I had on this deck? I think it was the Fairy Crystal, right? Where is it? No, not Fairy, or not Pixie Miracle. Fairy Crystal. There we go. Like, I think if you have at least some card game knowledge, at least, that'll be helpful as opposed to like going in completely blind. Like, you said you did remember Duel Masters from the English days, so I assume you've played a little bit back then. I don't know. Have you played any other card games since then? Peaceful? Well, you did say you also hate Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that's just the general sentiment in this channel is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sucks. Rush Duel is a a good attempt at fixing its mistakes, and yeah. Also, some kind of aggro has been decently good for the last few months. Oh yeah, aggro's always great for new players. Duel Masters was the only card game I held on to. Seeing Vanguard and none can be compared. I definitely feel that. Like, I play just an unhealthy amount of card games. Like, I play so many card games. Even just on this stream, we've gone through, what, Duel Masters, 2 different types of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because we play Master and Rush, never Speed, but we do still play Duel Links because Rush Duel is in it, so nothing we can really do about that. Shadowverse, Pokemon. When Dragon Ball Super Fusion World comes out, I plan on playing that too. We just love card games here. But Duel Masters really is just something special, and that's why I'm so glad to be able to play it again. It's it's like you said, nothing else can compare. Like, Duel Masters, it's just its own, like, well, I guess WeCross, because WeCross is essentially Duel Masters 2, but I did play Digimon for a little bit, but I fell off of it because, so the thing with me is that I I never play what is just considered to be the best deck. I always play a deck that I personally find interesting. And for me, the deck that I considered interesting in Digimon, Monozone, I have a Onimaru in there. The deck that I considered interesting in Digimon was Diaboromon. So I wanted to play Diaboromon. The problem is, when the game first came out, Diaboromon was extremely inconsistent, it didn't have a good memory fixer, and even if you could attempt at getting your game plan, you would just instantly die because, as it so happens, as it so happens, Omnimon just completely destroys Diaboromon, because, you know, lore and all that. Diaboromon is the villain, Omnimon is the hero, he gets defeated by the hero, and Omnimon's effect is specifically designed to shut down Diaboromon. So great, I lose to the best deck in the game. Like, I'm hard countered by it. Like, with other decks, it's like, whatever. It's the best deck in the game, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, you win some, you lose some. But in my case, it wasn't just, oh, this is the best deck in the game, you just kind of have to deal with it. It was, no, the deck hard counters me. I was playing the Metagaruru deck. Metagaruru is the blue deck, right? The one that constantly unsuspends and gets multiple attacks? Or is it unsuspend, or is it summon from its Digivolution materials? It's been a while. The blue one? Yeah. I played against that a lot when I played as well. So there was all of that. Ugh, voice. There was all of that, and then there was, so originally you didn't have like any consistency, you didn't have any memory fixing, etc. Then eventually the deck did end up getting support. It got some extra unknowns that it could use, or rather, it got another. No, it didn't get the other Diaboromon evolution line yet. But it did get, it got Armageddon, it got a new Diaboromon, and it did get another evolution line. It got a new evolution line, it got Armageddon, and it got Arata Sonata as your memory fixer. So it was like, cool, the deck can actually attempt to function now, except then, Diaboromon is a deck that focuses around summoning tokens, and naturally tokens can't have Digivolution sources, and so the deck gets hard countered by Shikokumon, which was something that was running around at the time, or just any yellow deck at the time, security control, etc, etc. You were hard countered again by what was considered the best deck in the game. Because now your Diaboromon tokens couldn't destroy security. They had 3 ugh, that was bad. They couldn't beat anything in battle because they had 3,000 power. And then they would keep removing your Digivolution sources on your actual Diaboromon line. So even the Diaboromon itself wouldn't actually be able to deal any damage. And then there was the other Diaboromon evolution line, and that one was released as a tournament it was a tournament pack exclusive thing. So the cards themselves were super expensive for a deck that still wasn't actually good to begin with, because it got hard countered by everything. And then eventually those cards got reprinted. I was able to pick them up for pretty cheap before I went to Japan. because I do play Digimon in English, obviously, or did rather. Sippy sippy. I played in English, obviously, so they got reprinted. I was able to pick up the reprints before I went to Japan, just in case I decided to ever play Digimon again. And then the other issue, of course, was Digimon didn't have a side deck until around the time that I left. So you had all these decks like Shikokumon and Set 1 Omnimon and everything that hard countered you, and you didn't even have the option of potentially side decking to improve the matchup. So I had to main deck. The option that I saw people using online was that they would main deck, I think it was 2 copies of Starmon and 2 copies of, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a yellow option card that allowed you to like reduce the power of one of your opponent's Digimon by X amount. And it was basically just a, oh crap, Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate into double Heavens. This is gonna suck. Naturally, the first enemy in the Legend Battle is the one with all the blockers. But at least we do have the option of potentially, well, not if we come into the battle zone tapped. That's annoying. Although not nearly as annoying as, like, I want you to like, okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna mute and like blow my nose and then explain this. Alright, I think the worst of it is behind us. The 11k dude is Light's Eternal Kaiser, yeah. So, I want to paint you the picture here. I've had this cold for a couple weeks. And if you were here for the first Rush Duel stream, I had a cold then too. And you know, I streamed through it, whatever. I was excited to play Rush Duel. I wasn't going to let a cold stop me. Man, this is annoying. Because all my stuff is going to be tapped, which means they can run over it. So, do I just go for double Die Hard and hope that... Yeah, I don't really have a play here. I guess the play was to take something with, like, take something that wasn't water with Don and bounce it. But whatever. We'll take Wedding also. And maybe see if we can pick off these blockers. But so... the past couple of weeks that I've had this cold, like, I've had the coughing and all that, and I could feel like the mucus in the back of my throat, but it would never actually like come up. And now, when I decide to do the stream, now all of a sudden, the mucus decides that it wants to come out. just, you know, that's the 0 grade luck at work. Also, I forgot what we were talking about before. Oh, Digimon, right. So, originally, there wasn't any side decking in the game to, like, help you with bad matchups. So, if I got matched up against security control, I just had to take the L. And what I eventually found out that people were doing, that they discussed as a way to get around it, was that you could play the 2 copy of Starmons to reduce Shikokumon's power, and then there was also a yellow option card that reduced power, or something. It was some form of removal to get around Shikokumon locking you out from dealing damage. So I played those, obviously, because it was the only way to get out of that situation, but because there was no side decking in the game, I had to main deck those cards, which is not exactly the most viable option when you're, you know, not always going to be running into Shikokumon. Like, even if you're playing against security control, there's no guarantee that that security control deck is going to be carrying Shikokumon, specifically for you being the one person trying to play Diaboromon. So, it was a bit of a annoying thing to deal with. And so then they introduced side decking to the game, so I was like, okay, now I can get by without having to main deck these cards. I can main deck things that are actually useful, and if I need to bring those in against a Shikokumon deck, I have the side deck option. Then I went to Japan, so obviously I wasn't playing English Digimon. Not that I really went to tournaments anyway, because Digimon came out like right in the middle of the pandemic, where there were no tournaments. And then obviously when the pandemic ended, I went to Japan. So they introduced the side deck. Then when I got back, I still didn't really have any real plans to play Digimon, because it felt like it was just a pale imitation of Duel Masters. And that was really the reason why I picked up Digimon in the first place, is because, well, it felt like Duel Masters, it looked like Duel Masters, and people in Japan who were nostalgic for the early days of Duel Masters were picking up Digimon for the same reason. But Digimon is not Duel Masters. And if anything, I'd say Digimon is probably a worse game overall. And so I didn't really have any plans to play it, but then when looking into the game again, I come to find out they removed the best of 3 from Digimon, because by this point One Piece had come out. One Piece was sort of taking the card game scene by storm for whatever reason. I don't think One Piece is that good either. And also, you know, Dragon Ball Super was like the big Bandai game before Digimon. And so it seems that, Bandai's approach is, instead of best of 3 with a side deck, they there would be best of one with a side deck. So you still have the option of using the side deck, but you get to side deck before you actually play the game, which is like, I don't get it. Like, it's basically you I don't even know how it works really, because again, I don't really play the game that much, but of course, it feels like it's similar to what Pokemon VGC is doing with its open team sheet thing, where like you you look at your opponent's deck and you get to see, oh, they're playing this build, so I know I can side deck this to give myself a better matchup, or side deck this to ensure that I have the advantage, or to counter their side deck choices, whatever. And I feel like it makes more sense to just stick to best of 3. Like, why reinvent the wheel? Just stick with what works. Best of 3 with side decking. Because then best of 3, I feel, is also just better for competitive gameplay anyway. Because even if you do have the side deck, at the end of the day, you're still playing best of 1, which means you still have the potential to just get sacked out and have nothing you can really do about it, which is lame. I say as we play a mobile game version of a card game, which is also best of 1 regardless. So, L from me, I suppose. The mucus is still there. I need to grab Baki back. I need to summon Prin and stop some of these incoming attacks. And also, I think I need to mute again to blow my nose again. So I will go do that. Okay, hopefully that's the last time I have to do that. Like, seriously, this has never been a problem. Like, literally the entire time I've had the explicit issue that the mucus wouldn't come out when I tried to blow my nose, or when I was coughing my guts out. But now I have this issue where just because I'm in the middle of something that I'd really rather not have to deal with this interruption. I'm gonna lose all of these, aren't I? Well, that's 1. 2. Only 2. Fantastic. Might actually lose this game. I'm going to put out Onimaru and try and get an extra turn. Also, hopefully get to remove this card. I guess this is to be expected, right? Against against Heaven's Gate, there's just a bunch of high-cost blockers. But yeah, seriously, like, the whole 2 weeks, I've been trying to like solve this whole issue, and now when I'm in the middle, of the stream, it decides, hey, what if I resolve that issue for you? Is like, I hate this. This round of legend battles were particularly annoying. I mean, the guy after is just playing Theta. I don't know what Theta is, or I don't remember. Freaking Heaven's Gate. Good thing I have Yusei, so this is going to come out tapped. But yeah, nothing can be more annoying than the Pop Team Epic one. Like, that was, I think, the worst thing I've experienced in a game. It was funny, but I think specifically, oh, name for the Hunter deck. Why Theta for Hunters? Am I missing something? But no, the Pop Team Epic battle was ridiculous. The Popico one, the Popico one, where it's like, oh, if there's ever more than 6 creatures in the battle zone at a time, Popico just gets to activate Apocalypse Day from outside the game, and all of her creatures have abilities on death, and and all of those abilities were like, your opponent discards a random card from their hand, or tap one of your opponent's creatures, so it stops you from finishing the game. And like, this was before we had Onimaru and Baki and all those things, so it wasn't like there was like a way to just storm through it. And also, I was so new at the game, I didn't really have resources. Named after the color combination? Wakarimasen. Alright. The time for the real meat of this. Furenga Bun no. Jumon, that's what it is. Furenga Jumon o ataeta toki, game soto kara Bazaka matawa Turaiston Itai Battle Zone ni dasu. Sore ra wa ni Angel Command ni. And I don't know what that kanji is. But when she plays a spell, she gets to play a Berserker or Tri-Stone from outside the game, and it becomes Angel Command. What is our skill? When the opponent plays a spell from outside the game, put a Daidaros into the battle zone. What is Daidaros? I guess we'll find out, because she's obviously going to be playing spells. I mean, she's the light player. She's gonna have Heaven's Gate if we try to go for game. A very old SR. It's a bit of a callback. Oh, what, to the original collaboration, or what? I guess it could be either that, or just you might recognize it when you see it. Is it a light creature? No, Daidaros would be, I assume it would be fire, right? So old it was in the Duel anime. Well, I mean, I guess in the original anime, right? Because if it wasn't in the original anime, I probably wouldn't. But I guess we'll see. Because she's definitely going to use a skill at some point. Also, hey there, Allery, how are you doing tonight? Oh yeah, that reminds me. I didn't play in the Splatfest. And I didn't play a Splatoween. I don't know what happened. I heard Shiver finally lost after winning like 5 in a row. I keep saying that I want to get back to playing Splatoon, but then I just never do. I don't know. I feel not burnt out on Splatoon. Well, I think I did feel burnt out at one point. Now I just feel like there's... Okay, hold on. This is the card, right? Funu no Moshio Daidaros. Hoka ni jibun no creature ga kereba kougeki dekinai. Kougeki suru toki jibun no hoka na creature itai o hakkai suru. Wait, how does that work? Because it can't attack if you have another creature, but when it attacks, you destroy another creature? Or is it... Wait. Hokan... Oh. Na kereba. I can't read. But we all knew that. So it can't attack unless I have another creature, and when it attacks, it destroys one of my creatures. Okay, I think we're good. That sounds rough, Aori. I hope you managed to get through that. Wow. I'm just getting a ton of I don't recognize this card, but it probably is in the original anime, because it says it's from set 1 of this game, which means it had to be a very early card in the real world. Because this game was basically Duel Master's version of Duel Links, where they started over from the beginning to try and appeal to people's nostalgia. But I don't recognize it. But it would probably be something that Kokujo had, if anything. Because it's a darkness creature, and the only person that I know who uses darkness in the original anime is Kokujo. So I imagine that if anyone used this card, it would have to be Kokujo. Unless there's some other like minor character or antagonist that I don't remember because of how long ago it was that used it. Because I know, or rather I know now that Mimi uses water. I don't know if I exactly remembered that she used water in the anime. I kind of need my space away from them. Yeah, I mean, things like that happen sometimes. As long as you manage to work through it eventually. Wow, she just keeps playing spells. Ironically, I feel like this legend battle is too easy compared to some of the others that I've dealt with since I started playing. Because she keeps playing spells, which just keeps giving me more copies of Daidaros, which means I just kind of get to storm the field. Like, I don't even really need to play anything here. I can just kind of swing. I mean, I guess I could have played the Ryusei hold to get Guile, just in case. Ugh. I'm hoping that all this like mucus nonsense is... Oh, I forgot to check the requirements. I probably had to like destroy a certain number of her creatures, didn't I? Or not, because it seems like I hit all 3. Win the duel, Jibun no creature o 3体以上破壊して勝つ, which is easy because she just keeps giving me more, and win in 10 turns is the standard. So I got through that without having to do it any extra work. Should be all right by next week. I hope so. And I hope I hope I am too, because again, none of this was a problem until the stream started. Like, I'm hoping that all of this deciding to crop up now is a harbinger for the fact that it's going to, that the whole thing is going to fade and I can stop coughing my lungs out every 5 seconds. But I of course know that's not going to be the case, because zero class luck and all that. Like, it's never that simple. As much as I would like for it to be that simple, it's never that simple. And it feels disgusting. Also, is the sort of the main issue with it is just, now that the mucus decides that it wants to actually come out, it just you can just kind of feel it lingering there, and it's not fun, to say the least. God, I love Salome. It's funny actually, when I was in Japan, I suppose that counts. When I was in Japan, that was when Shadowverse Evolve was like first starting out. They did a collab with Salome in Shadowverse Evolve. She has a leader card, and I think she has an alternate art card as well in one of the sets. And as a Salome enjoyer, it kind of is disappointing to me that they replaced her with Millie Parfait in the English version. I would have preferred to just have Salome. And then they also removed, there was a collaboration with Laplace Darkness, because apparently she's like a super ancient like Shadowverse player. Like, I remember watching one of her first streams because she was playing Shadowverse. She had like an account from like classic days in the Shadowverse digital game, with like when Dimension Shift and everything was like the only deck to beat. And so in Evolve, they gave her a leader card and alternate art cards as well, and we didn't get those either. And I'm kind of not feeling like I don't know. I would prefer if they kept Salome instead of Millie. But that's just my personal feeling. And then there was something else. Oh, right. Because of the collaboration, there was a local card shop in my town that had a Salome banner standing outside the store, like just in the middle of the shopping center. It was actually kind of bizarre in general. Like, there was Bushiroad also did something for Vice Schwartz that was like, it was some like campaign or whatever, like my favorite card or something like that, where, okay, hold on, I gotta think about this. Can I play Baki? Yes, because even if this didn't reduce the cost enough, I also have the cost discount for him being a hunter. But yeah, Bushiroad was doing something for Vice Schwartz for like my favorite character or something like that, where you could go to an official Bushiroad card shop in Japan and participate in a campaign where you tell you tell them like your favorite card or something like that, and you would be entered in a competition to win like some kind of prize or whatever. And it was just so bizarre to me walking around just like, I wasn't in like Akihabara or anything like that. I was just walking around a normal shopping district with like, you know, where regular people go to buy like pretty much anything, really. Ooh, I really like that shield trigger cut in. I just like Salome. But it was just, you know, I wasn't in anywhere that was specific for otaku goods or anything. It was just a regular shopping center with regular stores like Don Quixote and food stalls, clothing stores, liquor stores, and just seeing all these flags hanging from the ceiling, advertising Vice Schwartz. It's like, you would never see anything like this in America. And the one day that I was in Tokyo even, there were just signs on the street lamps advertising Cardfight Vanguard, and there were advertisements for Cardfight Vanguard in the subway. And it's like, you would never see any card game related stuff like that on anywhere in America. Like, the closest that we've had to that is when Genshin Impact first released, they had Genshin Impact ad wrapping on the 42nd Street shuttle in New York. Which, gross. But that's the closest I think we can... Really? They gave her Ave Maria because Ave Maria also says desuwa. I love that. But yeah, like, you would never see any of this kind of like advertising or anything in America, and it just really shows the cultural difference, you know? I mean, maybe you might see it in New York around like this time of the year, because Anime NYC is next week. Or is it next week or this? I think it's this week, actually. Anime NYC is this week. So obviously you're gonna have people coming from all out of town, from all over the world to come to the convention. Like, if you were ever to see any kind of like otaku advertising or whatever in America, this would be the time you would start to see it in New York, at least. But just walking down the street in Japan in July, August, like just a random day in the middle of the summer, and seeing card game advertisements in the mall, just on the street, like the Cardfight Vanguard stuff. Like, I wasn't even in Akihabara yet. Like, I was in the area, yes. Like, I was going to Akihabara, but I wasn't there yet. So seeing advertisements for Cardfight Vanguard, it was just bewildering, you know? It's... God. Imagine a world where card games are quote-unquote mainstream. It's like a dream. I feel... I don't know. It's just so insane to think about that something like that really exists, you know? That there is somewhere in this world where you can just see advertisements for trading card games on the subway as if it's just an everyday normal occurrence, and nobody bats an eye. I live in the wrong part of the world. That's what it all comes down to. Every anniversary from one of the gacha I play, you'd see pics of these huge banner ads they put up on the subway. Yeah, like, it's it's so weird to think about. DNA Spark? Is everyone in this collab just a light player? Good thing I got the extra turn. Not that I think the extra turn's really going to do much for me. But yeah, it's like, well, I guess for gacha you might see it in America just because gacha is kind of universal. Like I said, they had ad wrapping for Genshin Impact on the New York subway when Genshin came out. So for gacha, I guess you can, it's not like super unreasonable that it would happen. But like, I wasn't expecting to go to the mall and see giant banners of Vice Schwartz cards advertising Review Starlight and Kaguya-sama and like other anime series like that, when I'm just, well, I was going to card shops. Like, I was going there for that explicit purpose, but you know, not everyone who was going there was going for that purpose. A lot of people were just going to go about their everyday non-otaku related lives, and or just riding the train and seeing, hey, new Cardfight Vanguard set on sale today. It's like, it, you know, I always like to bring up the bell curve, right? The bell curve is like my favorite thing to make comparisons to. Like, for anything. And I feel that the weeaboo thing is a bell curve too. Like, the lower end of the bell curve is when you know absolutely nothing about Japan besides anime, and it's like, oh yeah, Japan is the greatest place in the world. Then you learn a little bit more about Japan as you actually start researching, experiencing, etc., and the top of the bell curve is, oh, Japan has like all these like downsides or whatever. The grass just looks greener, but it's not really all that great. And then the other end of the bell curve is, no, Japan is actually kind of like the greatest place on the planet, for nerds anyway. Because after spending a year there, I realized, damn, you know, I feel like I've gone back to becoming a weeaboo all over again. Like, I'm full on, like, Gilgamesh, you know? If you get this, are you also prepared for all the expensive cap? Okay, so that's actually something that, oh, I should have took Onimaru. I wasn't paying attention to what I had in my hand already. So that's something that actually, like, has really been frustrating me, is that, so the whole time I was in Japan, like, obviously I was having to be really frugal with my money. I couldn't really just toss things around willy-nilly. But, you know, while I was there, they weren't really doing a whole lot of collab cafe stuff that I would have been interested in, like, or just general things that I would have found to be interesting, right? But then, literally, like, 2 months after I came back to America, they're like, oh, this place that you've, this restaurant that you've eaten at, like, multiple times when you were in Japan, now they're doing a Yu-Gi-Oh collaboration. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? The instant I leave, you do a Yu-Gi-Oh collaboration at this restaurant that I eat at, like, once a week. And then just a whole bunch of stuff in that vein, where it's like, man, I sure wish that this was a thing when I was there. It's just, that's just the zero grade luck again, as it is. that Splatoon had. Oh, that was so there was the they did the collab cafe for Yu-Gi-Oh, and then they had like the Kaiba Corp store stuff where like and also just a couple of weeks ago there was a YCS in the city that I lived in, which there may not have been an opportunity for me to go to a YCSJ, especially considering I didn't own an OCG deck. Well, I had an OCG. I have OCG cards. I don't think I brought them with me when I went. And then, of course, there's the Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th anniversary thing that's going to be happening next year, which I also won't be able to experience because I'm not there next year. But it's just, what are the chances that all of this stuff happens exactly at the time where I get to go, none of this happens, and then I leave, and all this stuff suddenly starts happening? Splatoon probably did have some. I just wouldn't be aware of them if they did. I do know Splatoon did a collab, not a collab cafe thing, but actually I want to summon, well, it doesn't, no, I summoned Prin here. In Splatoon 1, they did a sponsored Splatfest where I think it was with Suntory, which is a drink brand in Japan, and the Splatfest was on whether lemon tea or milk tea is your favorite drink from that brand. But as far as like cafes or anything, I don't think they did anything like that. Oh, Pokemon Worlds in Yokohama. That was another thing that happened that I didn't get to experience because it was after I left Japan. Because, well, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it while I was there anyway because of the expense related to it. But man, the very first time, literally in all the years that the Pokemon Company has been running these championships, the first time that they decide to hold one in Japan is the one time that it's where I could have had the chance but wasn't able to. I was there, I was in Japan the year before. Like, the world has it out for the Tanuki. Like, what are the chances that the very first Pokemon World Championship in Japan is the year after I leave? Like, someone has it out for me. Fate is not on my side. Also, kind of a sounds like you fled the country to escape Kuso. It would have been Kino. But one of the downsides of this water bottle is that it doesn't hold as much as the microplastics that I would have been consuming before. So depending on how long the stream ends up going, I actually might need to get up to refill my water at some point. I've become a true streamer. I have to go AFK to refill my water. Although I guess when I was in Japan, I also had that issue as well, because the bottles were a lot smaller. No, use Pixie Life. I will say though, it was still good that I happened to be there at the time that I was, because if I didn't go when I did, I wouldn't have been able to pick up Ito Life's book at Lawson. So that was a plus. because I really like Ito Life. I haven't been following him for years, but I've known of his work for like literally like over a decade at this point. Like, I've known of his work. So for him to release that book while I was there was at least one upside. It's not like I missed out on every collab related thing that I could have potentially experienced. I still got something. I'm going to lose this game, by the way. Knowing of Ito Life's work, yeah, it's good work. He makes good books. And yeah, I lose this game. It would have been nice if I had that Ryusei hole earlier, but Ito Life even made artwork for some Vanguard cards to go back to the whole card game thing. I remember just randomly stumbling upon he made one of the Bermuda Triangle cards in Vanguard. But yeah, I've known of his stuff for a while. I started following him like more closely after he became a VTuber as well. So I've been following him. Like, I even watched a couple of his streams while I was in Japan. I don't really think it helped as far as the practice went, because so when you're a foreigner learning Japanese, there are like there's like a pantheon of boss fights for learning Japanese as a foreigner. So everyone always says the final boss of learning Japanese as a foreigner is kanji, which, as you can tell, is kind of a task. There's a lot of it. Not all of it is something that's going to be used in everyday situations, but it's still stuff you're expected to know, regardless of whether you're like going into a field that... Why did the game crash? The hell? Are you whatever. So there's the kanji is the final boss of learning Japanese as a foreigner. Then the super boss of learning Japanese. There's two super bosses of learning Japanese as a foreigner. It's like if learning Japanese is Final Fantasy V, then kanji is Neo X Death, right? It's the last challenge that you're actually expected to deal with in the game. It's the final boss. Once you beat him, the game is over. But then there's still Omega and Shinryu, right? And I would argue that who's the more difficult boss, actually? I think Shinryu is more difficult than Omega. So kanji is Neo X Death, and man, I forgot what the other like actual super boss is in this conversation, but the other super boss, the Omega, I can't think of right now, but the Shinryu of learning Japanese is Oji-san's talking, and Ito Life, for all intents and purposes, is an Oji-san. And, like, it is very hard to follow what he says sometimes. Even, like, obviously, with the little Japanese knowledge that I have, I wouldn't be able to understand everything he said anyway, but... but, man, it is impossible to understand Oji-san's. Like, just actually abandon all hope. For what it's worth, pure Oracle is good this set, not Izumo, just Oracle. Yeah, I kind of when I was experimenting a little bit off stream with some stuff, I did have some decent success with Oracle minus Izumo. I still had Izumo in the deck, obviously, but I was doing really well with the actual Oracle core. Especially considering you can always just summon, what's his face? Zoro-Star, whatever, and just completely dumpster your opponent by discarding their whole hand. Splatoween sucked. I despise Splatoon 3 Splatfest themes. It's been a problem from the very beginning, but I feel the more Splatoon 3 goes on, the more obvious it becomes that the Splatfest format is really only made for 2 teams, and then they realize, well, shit, we need a fourth or a third one, and they just end up being stuck because there's not really an easy way to incorporate a third team that would make it feel balanced. Like I think literally the only good one was the demo, because it was rock paper scissors literally, and I assume that you probably watched Squid School, but Gem has mentioned on one occasion about Splatfests where they should do more very gimmicky Splatfests that are like rock paper scissors, where it's not something that has an objective answer. Oh, you actually haven't. He's like he's basically like a education. I guess educational is the right word to use. He teaches people about Splatoon, how to play at a competitive level, competitive mindset and tactics, etc. And he's mentioned that, okay, hold on, time to investigate our legend skills. Salome no creature subete power attacker 100,000. Of course. 自分がクリーチャーを召喚したとき、自分のクリーチャーをすべて Victory または SR クリーチャーに変身。I know that's Sha, but I don't know if it's read as Sha. Or not. No, it is Henshin. What am I thinking? I can't read, of course. As always, it's Henshin. Big Man kind of feels like he's tacked on. I don't really think it's Big Man specifically that feels tacked on so much as it is there's just 2 options that work and a third one that doesn't, which the third one usually is the Big Man one. And then aren't we getting like the very first region specific Splatfest this time? Like the NA one is, what is it? Isn't the NA one like your greetings for people when you meet someone new, and then the Japanese one is what you call this food, because it's like a region-based thing. It's a literal turf war over what you call that specific food. It's kaiten yaki, by the way. I definitely won't be ever picking a team. I mean, honestly, I just feel I myself have felt kind of burnt out on Splatoon after that whole the grind at S rank thing. Like, I think I blew all of my Splatooning on that. I would like to come back to it someday, though, because I do genuinely enjoy Splatoon. I'll probably play it again whenever the DLC actually decides to drop, because I do want to play Side Order. But I don't really know if I'll go like super hard on it in the future. I hope for the next one they only have 2 hosts. Well, Splatoon 3 had the 3 idols and the tricolor turf war battles. So obviously Splatoon 4's gimmick is going to be that they have 4 idols and we're going to have tetracolor battles where we play on 4 teams of 2. It'll just be 2v2, v2, v2, and be utter chaos. Even though Splatoon 3 is supposed to be the chaos game. Ugh. The mucus. But, so this legend battle kind of sucks. And the reason it sucks is because, it's going to randomly transform my Kaiser Baki into a random other SR or Victory Rare card. Which means, there's a pretty, well, I guess after the effect goes off, we don't really care about what the card itself is. All that matters is the actual effect. Which, speaking of, I need to get Baki into my hand. Ask and you shall receive. And now we need to survive this turn. Provided we survive this turn, which we should be able to, we'll see what happens. We have another Die Hard, which is nice. Yeah, once Baki's effect resolves, we're fine. But having the effect actually resolve is what's important here. Because we need to be able to summon our hunters. Oh, actually I can't Baki this turn because I don't have another cost reducer. That's actually a bit annoying, because that means we lose this game. Oh, hey there, Lexa, how are you doing tonight? Okay, yes and no, because, the sickness. Yeah, let's just retire and try this again, because, we're not getting through this game. Doing good? Well, you're doing better than me. The cough scared me. Oh, don't worry. I'm just like, I'm still recovering from another cold. So if you remember the Rush Duel stream, I had a cold then. The cold faded. Then last week I did a Raid Shadow Legends sponsored stream and I had another cold. And I'm still kind of recovering from the cold from that one. I think it's almost completely past now. But just the instant that I turned on the stream, my body decided, hey, remember all that like mucus and stuff in your body that you were trying to expel for the past 2 weeks? What if we decided literally right now is when it was going to happen? Not any other time, not even any other point today, specifically when the stream starts. I'm annoyed I missed the raid stream. Don't worry, it was nothing special. But yeah, it's I'm hoping that I'll be in better condition shortly. At least by Thursday, because I'll probably stream again on Thursday. and I would like to not be coughing up my guts when that happens. It's life, basically. Oh, right, I forgot. Whenever I summon a creature, it turns into a SR or victory rare. That's slightly annoying, but this was a... Oh, right. And also, all of her creatures get power attacker 1 million, so I can't even actually block. A Rage Dream seems like a nice bullying opportunity. From which side? Yeah, I'm just gonna... No. I need to use Ryusei Hole here. So I Mana Charge this. And we use Guile to destroy this. I'm basically abandoning Baki as a game plan here. Because... getting rid of these puts shields into her hand. A raccoon bullying a tiger, not possible. You'd be surprised. Nature is very weird. I would like for this duel to stop. But no, yeah, it was... I mean, I understand the appeal of the game. It's just not really for me. But hey, it was definitely a sponsored stream. And everything that entails. Honestly, everything was fine. Raid has an appeal. Oh, it changes all of your creatures? I guess I missed the Subete when I read that earlier. So all of my creatures... Ow! I like... You know, one of those... Okay, wait, let me read this card first. 破壊されるときパワーがずるより大きければ代わりに相手のパワーが最も大きいクリーチャー一体を破壊する各ターン初めて自分の他のクリーチャーが破壊されるときパワーがずるよ Okay, nothing important here. So you know that thing where like you kind of choke on your own saliva? Instead of that, I just felt like it like scraped my throat. Like it was very painful. It's cool you can read without furigana. Only some of it. Like I'm not sure if the sai, for example, is the proper reading for this in this context. Because I do know that kanji, but I don't know it well enough. But I do know some of it without furigana. And I was actually talking about it earlier. When you're exposed to some of it enough just by playing the game, or playing Japanese games, it does end up like committing itself to memory. You actually do end up learning, which is good. I am learning. Take care of yourself. I'm fine. At least it's not as bad as it's not as bad as when the Rush Duel one happened, because that one was just an actual head cold. Like my head was like pounding. I felt dizzy. But I had to play Rush Duel, obviously. Like, I'm not going to let a cold stop me from playing card games. Unless it's in person, because, you know, no one wants sick people around the gaming table after the COVID era. It's like I can read hentai and some Yu-Gi-Oh cards because of how... Yeah, exactly. Like, any type of input... input. Any type of input is good for learning. Like, that's one of the main things that they really tried to hammer into us at school, and really just in general, any kind of like language learners, any sort of like language learning resource will generally like give like the same advice, where the you need to actively be putting it into practice. So it doesn't really matter how you're getting the practice, as long as you are getting the practice. Yeah, Salome boss fight is rough going. Because she's still playing essentially the outrage aggro deck, and I'm not hitting any of my shield triggers, and you know, all of my stuff becomes random things when they get summoned, so it's not exactly the easiest thing to accomplish. I made a deck of 1 and 2 costs for this. She'll beat you to death otherwise. Well, we can certainly try to get out of it. Because look, we destroy this. We have a board wipe here. And because... Ouch. Because this was from the hyperspatial zone, it's not a summon, so it doesn't get transformed. So we still get to... we still have the speed attacker. And now... well, now we can actually just go for Baki. So let's do that. Seven mana was the threshold that I needed. I couldn't remember that earlier, but yeah, 7 is what we need. And then, of course, Baki himself is going to get transformed into something else. But we do get Die Hard to save us, just in case. I forgot that it transforms everything again. You got a throne, I'll buy you tea. Funny enough, the other night when I was at work, a customer left like a... What the heck? What was that? Taborashu. Jibun no creature subete speed attacker. Sure, I'll take it. But yeah, the other night at work, a customer came in and actually left like a whole like thing of 2 different types of tea. They just forgot it. 2 packs of unopened tea, and it's like, okay, that's free real estate. But I do not have a throne. Maybe I should get one? I don't know. For like, it would basically be a meme. Aite creature go ijo. I think I just barely missed this mission of destroying 5 opponents' creatures. And win 5 battles? That's definitely not happening. I think we're going to take a detour here because we do have some goods to claim. Get a throne for nice... I mean... I think... Doesn't Throne have the option to, like, have people suggest items themselves? Or something like that? I've never actually used, Throne. I just know a bunch of streamers and VTubers and stuff have them. It's good for memes, kinda. Matt, I can add that 1.4K umbrella. What kind of umbrella is 1.4K? What's that about? I think we got some tickets too, right? Yeah, we got 2 tickets. And we have a bunch of gold that I'm also going to dump into this. Gucci? Oh, that makes sense. Man, I hate brands. There's no further thought or anything to that. It's just, that's it. A whole bunch of nothing. Oh yeah, I heard about that that Beatles thing. There's actually billboards for it around my job. Like, and they're like going like really hard on it, because before the song itself actually released, there was one billboard advertising it, and then it was up there for like 2 days, and then they replaced it with a different billboard for that song. It's it's kind of bizarre, but I don't really okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. But I okay, actually what I'm going to do is, wait, does that work? Yeah, because that gives 1,000. Wait, I would have to do 2 battles, but I'm gonna do this Furen battle again just to max this out. Thank you for that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a Beatles head myself, or really any music that isn't in Japanese, because I am a filthy weeaboo. And even then, I don't really listen to all that much Japanese music. I actually prefer like instrumentals. So I listen to more like, I listen to music from video games, obviously, and then recently I've kind of wanted to like get into Agile. Oh man. Yeah, that's Twitch for you. But yeah, I used to listen to just general chiptune music. Like I listened to a lot of Anamanaguchi and other chiptune bands like that when I was younger, because it was like, well, it's not music from a video game, but it's music styled after video games. And like that was cool to young Yukichi. I do still like chiptune music, but I don't really go out of my way to look for it anymore like I used to. Even then, I didn't really go out of my way to look for it that much. I pretty much only listened to Anamanaguchi, and I only even knew about Anamanaguchi because of Bit Trip Runner. But and I don't like EDM either, really. Like I'm the type of person where it's like I don't go out of my way to look for any type of specific music or anything. I just kind of listen to things that sound good that I stumble across. But if I were to actually try to actively like listen to something, I think what I would probably try to look into would be drum and bass, jungle, that kind of stuff. Like I've been really like kind of into that recently. I've been playing a ton of Mario Wonder. Oh yeah, I wanted to play Mario Wonder too, but I don't want to spend $60 on Mario Wonder. I also don't want to spend $60 on the Mega Man Battle Network collection, but I really want to play the Battle Network collection. I found a nice remix of Here Comes Char today. Char Aznable from Gundam. You should listen to my darling Lasa. Is that like a... Wait, what? Did that just... It destroyed itself to prevent a shield from being broken, so it turned my double breaker into a single breaker. It's kind of cool, actually. One of his themes from the show. Full disclosure, also, I haven't actually watched Gundam either. Well, that's not true. I've watched Unicorn and I've watched IBO, but... Like, I know of Char, obviously, but I've never actually watched the Gundam that he's from. Despite the fact that I bought the Char Aznable meal at McDonald's when I was in Japan, because that was a thing that was happening when I first got to Japan. IBO mentioned. IBO was so good. I don't remember anything about IBO, but I definitely watched the entire thing. Well, okay, I remember one thing about IBO. Or, I remember two things about IBO. But, yeah, not really into Gundam. But yeah, you can DM me the song. I'll probably listen to it tonight. I'm always looking for, music. Well, no, that's not true. I literally just said the opposite. Did you see the Gundam and have the Gundam Nikuman? Unfortunately, no, because I wasn't in Tokyo besides that one day I went on vacation just for the sake of, you know, seeing Tokyo. But I am actually planning on going to Japan again on vacation early next year with some friends of mine. So maybe I'll get to see some more stuff that I didn't get to experience while I was living there, since vacation was mostly in, the vacation will mostly be in Tokyo. It's kind of mid, I try to avoid it. I mean, I guess, I don't know. It's one of those weird things, right, where it's the thing that, it's the main place everyone knows about. It's like the main place where tourists go. It has like all the things to see, right? Like I did go to Shibuya. I saw Hachiko. I saw the what's the building again? I always remember the parody of it in The World Ends With You, but not the actual building. But oh, Shibuya 109. That's what it is. I saw Shibuya 109. I saw the Scramble. I saw Hachiko. I went to Akihabara. Did my weeb stuff. I found the Nendoroid that I had been looking for literal years. But I get it. Like, Tokyo's probably, you know, not that impressive. I prefer doing my Seiichi Junne in random obscure places for shows. What exactly do you mean by shows? Also, I don't know what Seiichi Junne means. Didn't they change 109 to 000 or something? It was still 109 when I was there. So, beats me. Am I going to... No, because this is the basic AI. There's no way I lose to the basic AI. Statements made before disaster. Oh, going to places from anime. Yeah, actually, that's something I also didn't really do all that much when I was there. I went to, and I've probably talked about this a lot, but it's, you know, something that that did make or mean a lot to me. I went to Washinomiya Jinja from Lucky Star, And obviously I walked around a little bit in the town of Washinomiya itself to get to and from Washinomiya Jinja. I went to Oarai from Girls in Panzer. I actually haven't watched Girls in Panzer. It's one of those things where hold on. Okay, I already have the thing, so it's fine. But like Girls in Panzer is one of those things that's been on my list of things to watch, but I just never really watch anime anymore. And it was harder to find things at the time when the show was at, I would say, the height of its popularity. But but yeah, what you call it? I went to Washinomiya Jinja, I went to Shibuya, Akihabara, but I didn't really do real like Seiichi Junrei kind of thing. Like the one thing that I do kind of regret not doing while I was there was excuse me. The one thing I kind of regret not doing was that when I was in Akihabara, because I didn't know like any of the I didn't know any of the like the locations from Steins Gate. I didn't get to do any of visit any of those places. I probably walked past some of the locations from Steins Gate just by the nature of walking around Akihabara, but I didn't actually go to like where I didn't actually go to like where the CRT shop was, where the Future Gadget Laboratory is. They don't actually go to university in Shibuya, do they? I don't remember. It's been years since I've seen Steins Gate. I love the jingle that plays with the head pat. Yeah, it's great. If I watch it in my server, want me to tell you? I'll probably like not be around whenever it happens. Like I'm just always running around doing things. That should max this one out, right? Yeah, Fruden is maxed out. Do I dare do Salome again? Probably not. Kid Pix. That's a name I haven't heard in years either. That brings me back. But yeah, like, I actually do need to look into that before I go to Japan. Like, some places to visit for like weeb gushing, I guess. Because like I said, I probably did like walk around some places in Steins Gate just by virtue of being in Akihabara, but like I said, I didn't go to where the CRT shop is. I didn't go to where the one thing that I also wish that I would have gotten to see, this happened like years ago before I had the opportunity to go to Japan, but there was to celebrate like Steins Gate's anniversary, they actually made a replica of the time machine and like had it crashed into Akihabara Station. I wish I would have been able to see that in person, but like I said, that was years before I went to Japan. I have been to Akihabara Station, obviously, because that's how... Actually, yeah, I did go to Akihabara Station. I didn't see like any of the places from Persona 5 to do like the Soy Point meme at. Like, I did take the Ginza line to get to Akihabara, so I did ride the Ginza line. I passed the Yongenjaya station, but I had very limited time, so obviously I didn't go there. While I was in Shibuya, I didn't go to EY's gun store, which a friend of mine who went on, the same friend that I'm going on this vacation with, he said when he went on vacation to Japan the first time, like when he went to visit like some of those places, and the real life gun shop in Shibuya has a bunch of like signs warning you like do not take pictures, no one in the store speaks English. Like they got really annoyed with all the tourists and everything, which is understandable because tourists suck. As someone who lives in New York, I know how bad tourists are. Oh wait, she doesn't die, so no attacking. So yeah, like they're very hard on like not having like tourists like ruining things for people, making a disturbance in the store and whatnot. And it's the same thing, to my understanding, with the LeBlanc isn't in Yongenjaya, right? Cause don't you? Is it? I don't remember the intro to Persona 5 because it's been so long since that came out either. But right, cause you leave, you take the train, you get on the train at Yongenjaya and transfer to the Ginza line to go to Shibuya, right? Also, I should have summoned Prin there, because Prin doesn't die. But yeah, it's but whatever the town is where Sojiro and Joker and Futaba live, like I've heard they also have like issues with tourists being annoying because of Persona, where what you call it, where like people will come into the cafe being rowdy, like cause oh it's the place from Persona 5, etc. And or go to Sojiro's house and it's like, oh, this is Sojiro's house or whatever, like taking pictures and being rowdy in front of the house. Like this isn't someone's actual real life house where, you know, they actually live. Like it's not just a prop from a video game. Which I think is just kind of a, and we've been seeing it a lot. I don't have that command, but enjoy lurking. There's a way to play kid pics on archive.org. You can play pretty much anything on those internet archives, all those lost Flash games and Flash movies. But yeah, it's like people, we've been seeing it a lot recently with now that tourism is available in Japan again, people just going to Japan and being completely just the worst people in the world, because they don't treat Japan as if it's an actual place where people are living their lives. It's just a prop from their like favorite media or whatever, and it's like no wonder they don't like foreigners when most people's experience with foreigners is this happening. Like there was a thing, there was like a video going around a week or so ago, like this guy who was sneaking onto the Shinkansen without buying a ticket and hiding in the bathroom for when the ticket inspectors came along, and trying to ride for free, and thinking like, oh, it's just a YouTube video or whatever, and then there was like there was the one like the girl went to Kyoto and was like making a whole big deal like about how it's not spectacular and crazy, wacky, zany like anime, and filming her video in someone's backyard. Meanwhile, like Kyoto is like one of the most beautiful places in the country that I haven't visited. Like if you wanted to see something beautiful while you're in Kyoto, you could go to like Kinkakuji, Ginkakuji, and places like that. But everyone, like, they're like the... So I brought up the bell curve thing earlier in the stream, and like if the lower, or if the other end of the bell curve, the left side of the bell curve is like the weeaboo who thinks everything in Japan is like the absolute greatest, then there's a part of the bell curve even further to the left that like so far to the left that it's literally on the axis, where it's just people who don't understand that like people live in other countries and other countries are not just props is really the big, like, it's so frustrating because then it also like makes things harder for other foreigners who want to go to Japan, even for just very minor things. Like I had the benefit when I was there that I was a student, and you know, I was going like literally right when the borders ended after COVID, whatever. Like things were much more selective. So it wasn't like it wasn't like just anybody could get in. Like you had to be going for a specific purpose, whether it be school, work, or something else. But now that tourism is available, you have just all these dumbass tourists doing dumbass tourist things and making things worse for just any kind of foreigner, regardless of whether they're tourists or something else. Just making everything worse for all of us because they just don't know how to act. It's disgusting. Like, all of this to say, ow, that hurt. Hold on a sec. There we go. All of this is to say that, yeah, what was it? The Seiichi Junrei. All of this is to say that, a lot of places, or not a lot of places, but there are places that aren't really that receptive to Seiichi Junrei, specifically because they have to constantly put up with rowdy foreigners doing stupid things, and it's just a lot easier to say just none of that. But yeah, if it's by Kadokawa, I assume that it's probably places that are that actually are receptive to those things, because Kadokawa is like a massive corporation, and they're probably actually partnering with the places, similar to how Washinomiya Jinja is with Lucky Star. Also, the Kadokawa is its own bag of worms, but I do want to do some of that stuff when I'm no longer bound by obligation and time constraint. Well, it would still be a time constraint because there's only so much you can do with a vacation, but you know, a vacation is a lot more than just a day trip when you live in another city in Japan. So it'll be nice to be able to to do some of that, but I actually do need to do some research for things like that. Ugh. Okay, we're good. Actually, we're not good because I kind of need to blow my nose again, but also it doesn't feel like that bad just yet. So I think I can stick it out until it gets really bad. But I definitely do want to go to... Wait. Okay, no, it's not a copy of mine. But why does he have a regular Prin and the secret rare version? That's weird. But yeah, I want to look into some of that stuff because obviously I'm going to be going back to Akihabara. So at the very least, I would want to do it for Steins Gate. I should probably watch Steins Gate again. It's been like so long. And then that'll be like extra motivation to look into places in the series to visit for like tourism weeaboo purposes. And then I also want to go back to like my hometown or whatever to soak in the nostalgia from that. Because I feel like I'm kind of glad that I didn't live in Tokyo, despite how much it would have been probably better for me to be there for the purposes of hobby stuff. It's probably for the better that I lived somewhere else because I feel I got a more homely experience. Because if I lived in Tokyo, it would just be no different from where I live now, other than, you know, being place Japan. So I do wish that I got to go to other places. Damn. I do wish I got to go to some other places though, and I'll be able to like figure out those things as we get closer to the actual time of the trip and you know, building an itinerary, plan of action. I can't do this turn. So we'll go for this. But man, I want to go back like long term again, and then I also just really hate these dumb like social media clout chasers making fools of themselves just, well, for clout, of course. Because that's all it is they're trying to fish for clout, but people don't understand. People don't understand that their actions have consequences. Like, okay, hold on. I need to blow my nose again. Seriously, of all the timing in the world, it had to be now. I don't, like, it's just my luck in action, as always. But it seriously couldn't have been like earlier in the day when I wasn't doing anything. It had to be specifically when the stream is going, and I guarantee you, once the stream ends, I'll be perfectly fine. But life just wants me to suffer for your amusement. But hey, here's to hoping that this means it'll all end up being behind us. I think this is also the first time I've actually made use of my microphone's mute button, because as I've mentioned before, it's in kind of an awkward position. And I think that might just be because of the stand that I'm using. And also the way that it's screwed into that stand. It's a little bit hard to actually use. And then also it's not like an actual physical button, it's like a touch panel. So it doesn't really have the feedback that that like the Blue Yeti had. For as mediocre as the Blue Yeti is, I did really like that the mute button was like, it was easily accessible, it was right on the front, it would be facing you anyway, and it was an actual button that you could feel the feedback for when you press it. But on the MV7, right? Yeah, on the MV7, it's a touch panel, and for my sake, it's in an awkward to reach location, and you don't get that feedback when you press the button. Sometimes it doesn't even actually respond when I press it because of that. And you know, I do have the ability to mute it through the app, which is what I do before I start the stream. But obviously, if it's something that I need to do quickly, then tabbing out of what I'm doing, pulling up the app, and muting through that is not a viable option. If anything, it's just more of a chore compared to hoping that the actual mute button works. So I don't know. Come to think of it, there was another mic stand that I was considering buying, but I never ended up getting around to that. Maybe I should actually get on that. Because it would not drastically improve things, but it would probably make things a lot easier. Because also the mic stand that I'm using kind of gets in the way. Not even just for the mute button thing, just kind of in general, it's in the way. It blocks the screen a bit when I'm doing things. I've had a number of occasions where I didn't realize like where the arm was pointing, and I bumped into the arm and almost knocked it over. So, you know, all in all, just awkward to deal with. And it would be better if I had a different stand. And I'm not really... And... oh, I didn't realize that was Ryusei, meaning I probably lose this game. Well, especially if that happens. Well, I guess I have Die Hard. Wait, if I summon 2 Die Hards, are they both going to explode? The answer to this question is probably yes, right? That they're both going to blow up. Which is... and Von Beethoven, too. So now I just lose in general. Like, even... Well, hold on. Yeah, no, I just lose because... If I bounce Ryusei, sure, I don't lose this turn, but I can't summon dragons because of Von Beethoven. And if I bounce Von Beethoven, Ryusei just attacks and I lose. Like, I don't think I have an out for this. That's annoying. Is this what it feels like to play Hunter? Or to play against Hunter? I mean, I've played against Hunter. I know what it's like. But I swear, I never get to Von Beethoven when I need it. It's so annoying. Like, as I do love Duel Masters, but it feels like there are just a lot of complete lockout cards like that. There's like Von Beethoven, there's all the light stuff that prevents you from playing spells. Oh, have you moved on to Mario Kart 8 instead of Splatoon? Is that what's going on? I guess the last bit of the DLC is out, right? Shockingly, I'm probably like one of the few people on the planet who owns a Switch but does not own Mario Kart 8. Because I don't know why I don't have it. Like, I don't know, I just never really felt like playing Mario Kart 8, or I never really felt a reason to get the game. Which is weird, because I do like Mario Kart. But something about Mario Kart 8 just didn't draw me in, I suppose. Simply make them discard all their cars before they lock you out. I mean, that's how it ends up working. Especially with the Oracle deck, right? Like I said, you use the courting ability and just you just dump Zoro Star onto the field, discard their hand. He even has secret rare. Well, obviously he has secret rare Ryusei Hole. If he has the secret rare Prince, but like, is that I assume that most of these Niji members that they've done the collab with actually do play in some fashion. Like, I know well, I don't know how much Sanbaka actually plays card games. I just know that they're in both Duel Masters and Recross. I know some of them do play, obviously. I'm gonna need that Baki real quick. Oh, right, the Wiggler races. I forgot about that. The mucus. Yeah, like I said, I do want to play. There's just so many games, and all of them are full price. Some video games should not be full price. And Nintendo video games are some of those games. No, yeah, that's right. I play double Prelude to Horror, and I can just drop Baki now for 1 mana. But yeah, it actually, more so than Mario Wonder, because Nintendo games never go down in price. Nintendo games never go on sale. Which I think is also part of the reason why I don't have Mario Kart, is because, you know, Mario Kart 8 is always going to be $60. which, you know, I get it. Well, I guess that's really what it is that Mario Kart 8 is always going to be $60, and then it's also going to have the DLC. Are you kidding me with this? Like, so what am I supposed to do against this? Like, do I just have to hope and pray that I'm able to, like, sack a Don in addition to being able to get off my plays to get rid of this Von Beethoven? I guess I could have kept... Well, no, that was the last game that I had Wedding. Is that what I have to do? Is I have to use Wedding for everything instead of Baki? But yeah, that's probably also part of the reason I don't have Mario Kart 8, is that it's always going to be $60, and then there's also the DLC on top of that. There's just a lot of games where playing them does sound fun. I just don't want to spend like full price on them. And it was shocking to me that the Mega Man Battle Network collection is still full price. Because I get it. Battle Network is this is annoying, by the way. You know, it was a big thing releasing it for the anniversary. The way I look at it is that it's a collection of 6 games, right? So at full price, you're paying $10 per game, which is, I guess, reasonable for a Game Boy Advance game. But I feel like they definitely would have put that on sale by now. Like, sure, it's only been out for like half a year, but paying $60 for Game Boy Advance games feels a little bit much. Not to say that it's not deserved. Like, those, well, most of those games, some of those games are really good. But full price for them, I don't know about that. And really, it's so weird for me in particular because I do want to play through the entire series, which means I would have to buy both versions, or both volumes, but in reality, I only really want the volume 2 of the Legacy Collection because I just need Battle Network 6 to do PvP. Like, which I think I brought this up on stream before too, but I do want to do Battle Network PvP at some point. But man, so like, even if I were to approach it from the perspective of, okay, the main thing that I want to do is Battle Network 6 PvP, and then playing the other games can come later. So really, I only need to buy Volume 2 for now. But the thing is, I think you get a discount if you buy both versions at once. So if I only buy Volume 1 now, and then or if I only buy Volume 2 now and buy Volume 1 later, then I'm spending extra money that I could have saved on just buying both at once. And then like, it's like, the game should not still be as expensive as it is. Like, again, some of those games are fantastic. Also, I can't count. But like, full price, it's not. I can't justify that. But I do want to do Battle Network 6 PvP at some point, so I'll end up biting the bullet eventually, for the sake of doing that on stream. And then eventually the idea that I have planned for the other games will happen eventually. But I don't know. Video games are expensive, man. Like, and they don't really need to be, but they are. Okay, now we can just drop wedding, and this game is over. Mario Kart really shouldn't. Well, most Nintendo games shouldn't be full price. Like, have you seen the state of Pokemon? You really think Pokemon deserves to be $60? I sure don't. But I guess people keep buying it at full price, so why not keep releasing them for full price, right? That's sort of the logic that Nintendo runs on. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. And, well, no, Pokemon is incredibly broken. That's the whole, like, point. But just how are they able to get away with it is the real question, I think. Like, they only are able to get away with it because they're Nintendo, is the answer. Like, if any other company released a game like Scarlet and Violet, and they kept that game full price with paid DLC a year later without fixing any of the problems, it would completely shatter any goodwill that company possibly had. But for Pokemon and Nintendo, it's just like, oh ho ho, those rascals, and everyone just not only like accepts it, they'll actively defend it. And it's so it's so sad. Like, they should not be able to keep getting away with this, but they will until the end of time. Or until they do something so unbelievably heinous that it just completely, like, they have to do something that absolutely ruins the people's perception of the company, the franchise, the game, whatever. Like, they have to release a Pokemon game so broken that it's literally not playable at all. Because for all of the for all the bugs and other nonsense that Scarlet and Violet has, it is technically still a functional video game in the strictest sense of the word. You can play the game to completion. And even that's technically not true, because there was a bug introduced in one of the updates that made the game soft lock during the final battle. So even that's not actually true. But it wasn't like that on launch, so I get it. It's it's not something most people would be experiencing. Let's see what this legend battle is all about. Kakutan, hajimete, Jumon no taeta toki, game soto kara mizu no kosto 8, 4, または6の random is that also? Yeah, that's also Jumon ichimai o ataeru. So during either player's turn, if he uses a spell, he also gets to play a random 8 cost, 4 cost, or 6 cost water spell. Which basically just means Hogan Blaster, right? Kakutan, hajimete aite ga Jumon no ataeta toki, game soto kara I don't know what this is. But this at least sounds... No, I don't know if I'd necessarily say this is better than Salome's battle, because, again, he does have the opportunity to just play Hogan Blaster, and in general, being able to chain spells together like that seems really broken. But we'll see. And it happens on both players' turns, too. So, obviously he's gonna... Oh, right. Don is a cost 4 water spell. So, the options he has available is... He can potentially cast Don. He can potentially cast Hogan Blaster. I don't know... I don't know what a cost 8 spell would be, though. But this has the potential to get very annoying very quickly, especially if he plays, a spell on 2. Oh, I guess that's also an option, but he whiffed on Godgate, at least. Seitan no Yashiro. Oh, Saitan no Yashiro. Oh, Yashiro, that's his name. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. 自分の墓地からランダムのカード2枚をマナゾーンに置く. Alright, so that's gonna be useless for the first couple of turns. But, actually... Maybe? If he plays another spell and I only have 1 card in my graveyard, would it still be able to go into the mana zone? We won't find out because now I have 2 in my graveyard. So the next time he plays a spell, I'll essentially get to mana charge 2. And if things go as planned, I should be able to play either Baki or Wedding next turn. Or... next turn? No. I keep forgetting, I don't have 2 of them in my hand. Unless he plays a spell card. Because now I get to mana charge 2. And now I can play 2. Or, now I can play them. And let's see, I have Onimaru and Triple Die Hard. I think I just go for Wedding. And then I can go for Baki next turn, if anything. Because now I have more chances to hit, since I'll have more shields. You say hole, that's fine. Wait. I'm confused. In fact, I'm incredibly confused at what's going on here, but this looks like it'll be pretty simple. We just get... Why didn't he use Print on Wedding, also? That seems like a mistake. Oh, of course, everything in his deck has a massively inflated cost. So it's specifically set up to make us lose this as much as possible. Which is why, of course, I used Wedding first. Now we just have to try and hit the extra turn. Which, again, is going to be unlikely. but somehow we hit it. And then now we can attack with Wedding. Well, first he gets to play Mystery Cube. Does that affect us in any way? Not really. But man, it's... Oh, I have to discard, that's fine. But man, it's... Games just... Why do they cost so much? Oh, actually I do. Oh no, I have the extra turn, I'm fine. I don't know. Games, or Nintendo games, should have price reductions more often, or at all, really. I would probably play Mario Kart 8 if it got a price cut. 10 mana, okay, that's fine. I missed one of the challenges, as usual. Play 10 spell cards. Amazing. I mean, I guess I could probably... Yeah, I can max that out. We can max out all of these pretty easily, really. And in general, like, this one was really easy. It was just... It had the potential to get really awkward with all the free things that he gets to play. Mario Kart needs to rebrand as Nintendo Kart. I mean, yeah, because what is it? We have Splatoon and Animal Crossing characters in it. We have the Blue Falcon as a car, so that's technically F-Zero. We also have Link and Breath of the Wild stuff in it. But I think they don't want to let go of that identity. Even if they are still adding things into the game that aren't Mario, like, they still want to keep that identity as Mario Kart. So, I don't think we'll ever see a rebranding unless they decide to, like, really go in on other Nintendo characters being in the game. Like, we're probably never going to see another Mario Kart for years, because why would we when Mario Kart 8 still makes like $1 million? But you know, in the inevitable future where we do actually get Mario Kart 9 on whatever system it ends up releasing on, a lot of the stuff is going to not be in the game. Like, we're going to probably lose the other characters. We're probably going to lose we're probably going to not have the courses from Mario Kart Tour in the game. Now that Mario Kart Tour is, you know, dead. Of course, it hits Wilhelm. But wait, because he played a spell, don't I get to mana charge anyway? Yeah. So that effectively did nothing. Like, it did less than nothing even, because it gave me more than I started with. Sure. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen, and go on with our business by playing Wedding. And then from there, we can just slowly chip him down. But yeah, like, the other Nintendo characters probably won't be in the game when they make a new one. Uh, the courses from Mario Kart Tour probably won't be in the game when they make a new one. Really? And I highly doubt that they would add other Nintendo characters to it afterwards either. Like, I can see, like, the vision for a Nintendo Kart, but I don't really see it happening, you know? Unless they want Mario Kart to replace Smash Brothers, but I can't see that happening either. For as much as they seem to really want to be done with Smash Bros, like, I can't see them actually, you know, trying to get rid of Smash Brothers, because they know how, like, they know how popular Smash is, and they know how much it sells, and they know how much it gets people hyped up. So we're always going to have Smash, and if we have Smash, there's no real reason for there to be another, like, Nintendo crossover game, I feel, anyway. Because Smash, that's basically what Smash is. Smash is the crossover game. But who knows? Nintendo operates in mysterious ways. For all we know, they actually are, like, getting ready to make a full-on Nintendo Kart for their Are you kidding me with this? For all we know, they actually are planning to make a Nintendo Kart for their next system, which I don't think there's, well, no, there are things wrong with the Switch, but like, the Switch is in a good position right now, but I do think it would probably be for the better if we moved on from the Switch, because it basically has lived out a console generation at this point, right? It's been 7 years. It kind of feels like it's time. The Switch has, I wouldn't say outlived its usefulness, but I don't think there's really much more that can be done with the Switch, especially considering the Switch's low power is holding developers back. Like, I don't think Pokemon would have been better on a system with better hardware, because that's an entirely separate issue. Game Freak is just kind of not really good at the whole programming thing, but I feel like the issues with it from a technical standpoint would have been less glaring if the Switch was a better system. I think a lot of the issues with not even just Scarlet and Violet, but just the 3D Pokemon games in general has to do with the technology being used. If we had better hardware, we would feel the effects of the bad programming a lot less, because the issues with Scarlet and Violet come from the actual graphical. It comes from, like, the game's actual, like, graphical capabilities itself, or the, what am I trying to say here? The issues with Scarlet and Violet have to do specifically with the game's graphical engine, I guess. Like, all the issues have to do with the rendering. Well, not all of them, but the majority of the issues in the game have to do with the rendering and whatnot. The Pokemon models are higher poly than they really or not higher poly, higher fidelity than they realistically need to be. And again, this was an issue from the 3DS era as well, because on the 3DS the models were actually higher poly than they needed to be, by design. Game Freak had said very explicitly they made the Pokemon models super high fidelity so that they would be essentially future proofed. Like they wouldn't have to do as much work remaking them for future generations because they were made to last for multiple generations. But the 3DS wasn't able to handle how high fidelity those models were at the time, and now it's sort of the issue where the game can't handle, or rather the Switch can't handle the textures that they're using. It can't handle rendering the open world because it's not what you call it. Can I hit at all on this? Like, I legit just hit 1 out of 5. And then I hit on Onimaru, which is fine because that gives me the chance to, like, recover from this. But just real what do I even play here? I guess I play Guile? No, I'll play Ryusei, so that he also doesn't get to get his mana next turn. But yeah, like the textures in the game are too high quality for what the Switch is capable of. The open world is too much for it to handle because for whatever reason they're not using like ancient game development techniques where things that are not currently in the world aren't loaded. And I don't actually know how true it is. Like, it could just be people making things up specifically could be specifically making things up to shit on the game just because, you know, making fun of Scarlet and Violet and new Pokemon games in general is kind of like the thing to do. But I remember people saying that the game renders the entire world at all times instead of just whatever areas are close to the player, which is not how you make open world games. And you would think that they would know stuff like this from their, like, contemporaries, right? Because Breath of the Wild is an open world game, and it doesn't have this issue. Xenoblade isn't open world, so to speak, at least from what I understand, but... Wait, how do I only have 28,000 on Salome? Huh? I should definitely have way more than that. Oh, right, because I didn't complete the missions. I have to win 5 battles and destroy 5 creatures. We'll do that some other time. Because I think we're going to wrap things up here. I think all the coughing and whatnot is finally starting to get to my head. It's also kind of late, and I gotta, as always, the Tanuki is busy. There's stuff to do on the morrow. So we'll probably just wrap things up here after I open one more pack. I'm like 10 gold off of another pack too. But, oh, I guess 2 packs because we have 2 tickets. We'll use these 2 tickets. Can we finish off with some more crazy pulls? No. Get better soon. Thanks. Like I said, I hope I hope that all these complications are are a sign that the whole thing is starting to fade. But who knows? Stay fresh, if I can type correctly. Don't worry, typing does it gets rough, especially late at night when the brain starts to shut down. Let's just get Salome onto the home screen for the end of stream screenshot. And we're going to have just one more coughing fit to end things off because we gotta have one of those. And then, as always, go through the song and dance. Ooh, I see. Please save me. Let's see. There's quite a lot of mahjong going on tonight, it would seem. So okay, I definitely need to go before I explode into a million pieces from all of this. So we're going to go over to Fuza, who is doing a mahjong collaboration with a few other people as well. All fun VTubers. And I will see you there, or if you go to sleep or whatever, that's fine too. I have been your dealer, Yukichi Reikyu. Have a good night, morning, evening, etc., whatever time it is. And I will see you next time for something else. Otsuyuki, everybody.
Oh, I took from Han.